Have you ever wondered how the universe will end? It's one of the biggest, most mysterious questions in science, and one that has fascinated people for centuries. Right now, we know that the universe is expanding. Every galaxy, every star is drifting farther and farther apart. It's as if the universe is a balloon being slowly inflated, and everything inside it is moving with the expansion. But what will happen when that expansion slows down, or if it speeds up even more? And what does that mean for us, and for everything that exists? The story of how the universe might end is deeply tied to the question of dark energy. Right now, we know that dark energy is driving the expansion of the universe, causing galaxies to move away from each other at an ever-accelerating pace. It's a mysterious force, something we don't fully understand. But we do know that it's powerful enough to shape the fate of the cosmos. So, what does this dark energy mean for the future? There are several possible endings to the universe, and each one is more mind-boggling than the last. The first theory, and one of the most widely accepted, is called the Big Freeze, or heat death. In this scenario, the universe will continue to expand forever. But as it does, the energy that powers stars, planets, and life itself will become more and more spread out. Eventually, all the stars will burn out, leaving behind a universe filled with nothing but dead, cold remnants. Black holes, neutron stars, and vast, empty space. It's a slow, quiet death for the universe, where everything eventually comes to a standstill. No light, no heat, no life, just an endless, cold expanse. But let's take a moment to really think about this. Imagine a future where the last star burns out. There would be no more light, no more warmth, and no way for life as we know it to exist. Planets would be frozen solid, drifting through the darkness. Galaxies, once filled with billions of stars, would be nothing more than black, empty voids. And the universe would continue to expand, becoming colder and darker with each passing moment. It's a haunting thought, an eternal frozen silence, where nothing ever changes, and nothing ever happens again. The second theory is far more dramatic: the Big Rip. This idea suggests that the universe's expansion won't just continue. It will accelerate until it tears the very fabric of space and time apart. Dark energy, in this scenario, becomes more and more powerful, pulling galaxies, stars, and even planets apart. Eventually, it would grow so strong that it could even tear atoms apart. The universe wouldn't just freeze, it would be torn to shreds, with everything destroyed down to the smallest particles. This is a catastrophic, violent end, where the universe literally rips itself apart. The idea of the Big Rip is terrifying in its own way. It's not just the end of stars and galaxies. It's the end of everything, down to the smallest building blocks of matter. Imagine a universe where, over time, entire galaxies start to stretch and break apart. Then, solar systems, planets, and finally, even the atoms that make up those planets. The force of dark energy would become so overwhelming that no structure, no matter how small, could survive. Everything would be torn apart in a cosmic cataclysm, leaving behind nothing but a universe of disintegrated particles. There's a third theory, though, one that paints a different picture: the Big Crunch. In this scenario, the expansion of the universe slows down and eventually stops. Then, gravity begins to take over. Instead of galaxies drifting farther apart, they start moving back toward each other. Over billions of years, the universe contracts, pulling everything back into a single point, just like at the moment of the Big Bang. In essence, the universe collapses in on itself, reversing the expansion and ending in a fiery, massive implosion. The Big Crunch is like the opposite of the Big Bang. If this theory is correct, everything in the universe would come full circle. The galaxies, stars, and planets would all be drawn back together by gravity, growing closer and closer until they collide. Eventually, all matter and energy would compress into a singularity, a single, infinitely dense point. The universe would end in an intense, unimaginable implosion. But this theory also leaves the door open for a possible rebirth. Some scientists speculate that after the Big Crunch, there could be another Big Bang, sparking a new universe from the ashes of the old one. These are the three most popular theories: the Big Freeze, the Big Rip, and the Big Crunch. But as fascinating and mind-boggling as these theories are, there's another possibility we haven't yet explored: the Big Bounce. This theory suggests that the universe doesn't end at all. Instead, it goes through infinite cycles of expansion and contraction. After the universe expands to a certain point, gravity takes over, causing everything to collapse back into a singularity, much like in the Big Crunch. But instead of staying collapsed, the universe bounces back, triggering another Big Bang, and the cycle starts all over again. In the Big Bounce scenario, the universe is eternal. There is no true end, just an endless loop of beginnings and endings. Some scientists believe that this could explain why the universe appears to be so finely tuned for life. If there have been countless universes before ours, it's possible that we just happen to be in the one that has the right conditions for life to exist. And perhaps, in the future, there will be other universes with their own unique properties. However, the Big Bounce is still highly speculative. It's a theory that challenges our understanding of space, time, and the very nature of existence. If true, it would mean that the universe has no beginning and no end, just an endless cycle of creation and destruction. And while this idea is compelling, it raises as many questions as it answers. For example, if the universe is constantly bouncing, where does the energy come from to keep this cycle going? And what happens to the information and matter from one universe to the next? Do they carry over, or are they lost forever? These are questions that scientists are still grappling with, and they may not be answered for many years, if ever. But that's what makes the study of the universe so exciting. It's full of mysteries, and each new discovery leads to even more questions. The more we learn about the universe, the more we realize just how much we don't know. Now, let's talk about another intriguing concept related to the end of the universe: the multiverse theory. What if, instead of one universe, there are actually infinite universes existing simultaneously? In this theory, each universe could have different physical laws, different forms of matter, and even different versions of us. This is known as the multiverse, and it's one of the most exciting ideas in modern cosmology. The multiverse theory suggests that what we think of as the universe is just one bubble in a vast sea of other bubbles. Each bubble represents a different universe, and these universes could be completely separate from one another. Some might have collapsed in on themselves, while others are still expanding. In some universes, life might never have existed, while in others, life could be flourishing in ways we can't even imagine. But how does the multiverse relate to the end of our universe? Well, some scientists believe that our universe could be just one in a series of universes that are constantly being born and dying. If our universe ends in a big freeze, big rip, or big crunch, that might just be the end of this particular universe. But not the end of everything. New universes could be forming all the time, each with its own fate, its own story. The idea of a multiverse is deeply connected to the concept of eternity. If there are infinite universes, then existence itself might never end. Even if one universe collapses or fades away, there will always be another one taking its place. This challenges our traditional views of time and space, suggesting that reality is far more complex and infinite than we ever imagined. But here's the catch. While the multiverse theory is incredibly fascinating, it's also nearly impossible to prove. Since these other universes are separate from ours, we have no way of detecting them. They exist beyond the reach of our telescopes and instruments, making them purely theoretical, at least for now. But that doesn't mean the multiverse isn't real. It's an idea that forces us to think beyond the limits of our own universe and consider the possibility that we're just one small part of something much, much bigger. So, where does that leave us? Whether the universe ends in a big freeze, a big rip, a big crunch, or something else entirely, one thing is clear. The universe is constantly changing. It's not static. It's not permanent. And that's what makes it so awe-inspiring. We're living in a universe that is in motion, evolving and shifting in ways we can barely comprehend. And while we may not know exactly how it will end, we do know that it will continue to surprise us. As we explore these possibilities, it's important to remember that the end of the universe is likely billions, if not trillions of years away. For now, we have the privilege of witnessing the universe in its current state, full of life, energy, and wonder. But as we look to the future, we can't help but be curious about what comes next. Now, I'd love to hear from you. What do you think will happen to the universe? Do you believe in the big freeze, the big rip, the big crunch, or the big bounce? Or do you think something else entirely will happen? Share your thoughts in the comments below, and let's keep this fascinating conversation going. And if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to give it a like and subscribe to the channel for more mind-blowing content about the universe and beyond. Your support helps us continue to explore these incredible topics and bring them to you. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.